The Australian outback. Remote, beautiful and dangerous. At its heart lies a small, isolated town of Alice Springs. It's over 1,000 kilometres away from any major city. Its temperature can shift from blazing hot to freezing cold in one day. And it's now on the do not travel list of many countries because of the violent crimes committed here. This place throws up challenges that the best of us would simply walk away from. But for one unique family, this place was the perfect location to start a new life. A life dedicated to not only helping the people of the outback, but of the planet as well. What they do under the searing sun of the outback is something you just have to see.
Alice Springs was a great adventure, really. Whoa, what do we open ourselves up to?
In this series, we'll meet three brothers who, along with their dad, are not only taking on some of the biggest challenges in Alice Springs, but of the planet as well.
It's relentless, it challenges you every day.
This will be interesting.
In one of the most inhospitable and dangerous places in Australia.
Just a toothpick for the young fella. And that's just madness.
I'm on an outback highway, crossroads on the sign say, no turning back. I'm following this track, blue skies, endless road, outback brother coming home. Blue skies, endless road, outback brother coming home.
Growing up for us was all about the peninsula in Victoria.
Always swimming, always out bush or outside, always.
Our parents, they were a bit hippie-like, so we had goats, we had pigeons, a whole host of animals hanging out.
I remember doing a lot of travelling with Mum and Dad in the Volkswagen Combi, and I think that's obviously where the adventure sort of began in relation to travelling around Australia and the world.
It's always been uncanny, the sort of closeness we've shared as brothers. We seem to gravitate towards each other.
Their upbringing tied to nature also made them united in their decisions about what they should do with their lives.
Whatever we do with our careers, it had to be directly aligned with what was happening on the planet.
And what was happening to the planet had the boys very worried indeed.
Human beings in the natural world are on a collision course.
Our ability to live is what is at stake.
By the late 1990s, climate change was only just beginning to enter the consciousness of the general public. For the family that had always kept a keen eye on the environment, they knew something had to be done. But what?
For us, it was the harsh reality of what the future was going to be about, and change is coming, doesn't matter which way you look at it.
At the time, both Dan and Tom were quite successful in the entertainment industry.
That kind of little revolution inside of us was coming out at that stage in our music.
They decided to use this platform as a way of educating people about the perils of what was happening to planet Earth.
If you want to get an important message out there, if it doesn't have a bit of music to it and a bit of entertainment, you might not be able to motivate or even educate.
But just singing about the problems wasn't enough. If they were going to talk the talk, they needed to walk the walk and get fair income.
We made the decision to do something about it, to get active about it.
It was their father, Joey, that gave the boys a reality check.
And he always said, look, there had to be a physical aspect of that. You need to be able to go and show people that you are a leading example in what you're discussing.
How tangible, how real is this message if we can't find or create a place that walks the talk?
So we came up with the idea of opening a sustainable living centre.
We started thinking, where can we do our own thing? We had to start to look for a place.
Most people in the world come from cities, very dense, very busy places, and to start talking about new things and new ideas, you have to strip away that environment.
So the idea eventually came up of Alice Springs. In the middle of Australia, and it was challenging, it was something different.
However, Alice Springs wasn't quite what they had expected.
Envisioned in my mind was a desolate country with tumbleweeds, you know, like an old Western type theme. Very different. Scenically, it's magnificent, it's beautiful.
This is a semi-arid desert and it's very green, it's elevated, and when you come into Alice Springs, you're already taken back by how green it is.
Founded by early explorers in the 1870s, it became the main communications link between Australia's southern cities and the rest of the world. It remained but an outpost until gold was discovered, and then later it taking on the role of a military installation, culminating with Pine Gap, the Australian-American Joint Defence Facility. Even today, there are hundreds of citizens that would put their hand on their heart if they heard the Star Spangled Banner.
When we arrived, December 31st, 1999, New Year's Eve, new beauty, air was hot. We were not climatised whatsoever.
We always thought that this would test us. This would test us as people, and it would test our project.
It's perhaps because of these extreme weather conditions, its remoteness, its cocktail of Indigenous and Western cultures, that Alice Springs has what you might call a quirky personality. One not about to warmly embrace a bunch of tree huggers from the big smoke down south.
A lot of people thought, oh, you crazy bunch of hippies, and thought we were some cult and wanted to put us back on our camel and back down south as quick as we came.
Regardless, the family leased this 100-acre block of land which came with an old homestead. It was here that they would begin their new venture.
It was boot camp day one, and that was a harsh reality of what the future was going to be about.
He comes to the Outback to change the world.
This is going to be a mountain to climb in terms of a challenge.
Earth Century was born.
Earliest memories were, whoa, we've got to the outback of Australia here, and yes, we've got a head full of ideas that how does this now take root into this 100 acres that we have, and how do we reach the world? We've gone as far away from the world as possible, and we want to bring them here.
The initial challenge about building any infrastructure here was essentially the cost. We didn't have a lot of money, so we went down the tip shop and we managed to scrounge around and find whatever we could in terms of building products. We just started building, having a bit of a go.
Luckily, Dad Joey was very handy with the tools.
I've been very fortunate because my dad was a builder, so I learned very simple tricks of carpentry, putting a few things together from basic plumbing and so forth, and that's been passed on to the boys too.
So Dad's skills there have kept us going.
We've learned a hell of a lot over the many, many years. Plumbing, carpentry, basic electrical. We have a great understanding now with all the trials that we've had and the failures about building structures. And this is at a time when the concept of any sustainable practices wasn't even on the radar.
Took a bit of Egyptian ingenuity, but we got the bugger up.
Establishing any business is difficult, but one that is based on sustainability and the environment before it had entered the consciousness of the greater population would make it doubly hard.
It felt like we were just knocking on deaf ears, to be honest.
I'm sure everyone deep down knows that it's the right thing to do. It's just a matter of creating that awareness and getting it out there.
Not to mention the fact that they were doing it in one of the harshest environments on the planet.
The roof is on fire.
I've seen our thermometer get over 50 in the sun and, you know, and get down to -10, watching ice freeze with a cup of water beside your bed.
I never knew heat until I came to Central Australia. We call it the Big Bake. It's relentless, it challenges you every day, and you never seem to get to that point where it just can cool down. And I know in another month's time, it'll be freezing. And that's just the Outback, and it doesn't say sorry, it just, this is what it is, and if you'd like to go, please kindly leave.
You get a very small window in the morning where you can actually get up and do things, and sort of by midday you're already high up in the 40s, and then you get up to the 50s. So it's extreme heat, and it's been really taxing on us and challenging, because for most of us you can't do anything, you just got to hibernate and go underground.
But Earth Sanctuary is starting to see some interest being taken by local schools.
My name's Tom and this is Danny.
And when not working on construction, the boys are busy running programs to help kids learn about looking after the planet.
We're very lucky in Alice Springs. We've got some of the best solar hours in the world.
If we can get kids to come in here and walk away going, oh wow, I'd have a go at that, or maybe tell mum and dad that maybe have you considered this or that. And they're little things, but they do make a big difference in the long run.
You get all that sand out.
One thing we learned out here is we have to get people back to connecting with the earth, you know, and that's that relationship. And once you've got relationship, you've got feeling, you've got sensitivity, and then great decisions can come from that.
However, we all know that education is not a cash cow, and the family's savings are almost gone. It was time to face reality. If they were going to survive, they would need to find other ways of generating income.
And our intention wasn't always a financial one, but you need to have money to come in to run the school. You need to be able to do that.
Okay, guys, on your right-hand side, the climb is open, okay?
Both Dan and Tom began working as tour guides.
Every day here we get up to about 1,400 people coming to check out the rock.
One of the most amazing jobs I've ever done. Just phenomenal. Every teenager I meet, I encourage them to go and be an adventure guide.
For older brother Ben, it was the opportunity to recommence his paramedic training that he had started in Victoria.
Hey mate, ready for another day in paradise?
I always had an interest in sort of first aid, helping people. Started off in Melbourne doing some surf lifesaving, and did some lifeguarding, and it was a natural sort of progression from there, sort of always really interested in the medical aspect of things.
Betty, you take a deep breath for me. That pain's still the same? Yeah?
But all the training in the world couldn't prepare him for some of the unique problems that exist in Alice Springs.
You watch your TV shows, you do your reading, it gives you a bit of an insight, but not until you actually do it, it's another kettle of fish.
Fueled by alcohol and other substances, Alice Springs can transform into town under siege by night.
You wake up in the morning and you have no idea what you're going to face.
For the paramedics, it can be non-stop from the moment they clock on. Whether it be attending assaults.
So how many times do you reckon you're kicked? 3 times.
Vehicle accidents, illnesses, or transporting patients to and from the Royal Flying Doctor Service. It's non-stop and it's never ending.
Vanessa, you awake still? You stay awake, okay?
What would you like to do? Do you want to take him up to the hospital? Or?
I'm worried, yeah.
I think the paramedics in Alice Springs and the NT in general, we do a fantastic job. You're right.
You have some great moments, you have some bad moments, but look, those great moments when you save someone's life is an amazing feeling. It's hard to describe.
Despite all of that, in just a few years, all 3 brothers were now working as paramedics.
Wee hours of the morning here in Alice Springs, all you tend to see is flashing lights from ambulance and police.
Obviously the boys followed my lead in my chosen career. I think they're naturals at it, and yeah, they do the job very, very well.
The skill, the critical thinking of being a paramedic appealed to us a lot. It was a natural extension to move in this area.
Yeah, we haven't looked back. It's been an amazing journey of self-discovery. This will be interesting.
Nothing prepared us for life in Alice Springs and being a paramedic.
It's difficult sometimes to put into words. Sometimes you don't want to put into words.
Can you hear me, mate? Just squeeze me hand, mate, so I know you can hear me.
The adrenaline rush that you have to go through on some of those jobs, and that level of thinking and the pressure that you're under at that time is phenomenal. Time and pressure makes diamonds.
As well, the boys have made some strong friendships with their colleagues who support what they're trying to do with Earth Sanctuary.
I'm always very motivating and very, let's go, let's just get into it and do it and make it happen. It was such a great idea.
The work the boys are doing out here at the sanctuary is magnificent, and I share the vision that they have. I'm totally interested in what they're doing, and I just love being a part of it.
With these strong friendships and a steady income, the Falzons can continue to build Earth Sanctuary.
You've got a 21-year-old female post-assault with a knife.
Oh, back.
But the problems of Alice Springs are going to challenge them every step of the way.
You're safe, okay?
Let's look into your eyes if I can. Yeah, that's it. Bright light. Open your eyes.
As the years have gone by, the brothers have settled very comfortably into the Alice Springs community.
When I found out he lived in Alice Springs, I thought, oh my God, because I had that typical city image of tumbleweed going through the main street and it being, just a really dry, dusty place. But the first time I came here, I fell in love with Alice Springs. It's just a spectacular place.
So she's a pretty amazing person to put up with me and the Outback at the same time. And I think it takes a certain person for that. So it must be love.
I was born in Alice Springs. I've lived here all my life. The work that they do here is, I've never seen anything like it. I've never met anybody with the drive to teach people about the environment, the climate. It's awesome.
I think the boys have been very fortunate. They found very, very beautiful and committed women that love what the boys do, and that's very important.
The team still conduct tours, but now the tourists come to them.
We're just setting up for dinner and show tomorrow night at here at Earth Sanctuary. We're doing this now because both Tommy and I are on day shift with the ambulance tomorrow, so that by the time we finish, got to get back here with about half an hour to spare to start entertaining the group that rocks in on the big bus that comes in. No point being in a restaurant with closed doors when you're in the Outback.
It was something I did a number of years ago. I travelled in Vietnam and they had a concept of you're invited. They took you to their house and they cooked us dinner. That was just an amazing experience. And that sort of concept has been brought here. If a family living in the middle of Australia who have a story could invite people over for the evening, cook them a dinner, have a bit of a yarn.
Central Australia, 250,000 people come every year. We have this beautiful place here called Earth Sanctuary, and we want to tell them stories about sustainability and working with the environment.
Go.
So for us, it was an opportunity we had to not only reach people, but to derive an income from this.
G'day everybody. How are we going? Good.
It's a good thing the family have grown, as it's all hands on deck.
They're part of the family now, so they've been sort of towed in and, they're in it. So whether they like it or not, they're part of it. That's just part of the family and that's just the way it goes.
As part of the entertainment, the boys are using their musical skills, playing a modern version of the didgeridoo.
Very good at the sliding action there. Oh, beautiful played. Fantastic.
I'm here all week.
I think there's a herd of elephants coming. It just felt a very natural progression for us while we're here to play that sound, and it seems to resonate through nature here and resonates through yourself.
Yeah, we'll try a C. How's that sound?
That one. So.
I think when everyone hears the didgeridoo, it brings you back to a primal place.
There you go. There you go.
The didgeridoo was created by Charlie McMahon, a one-arm musician who's played with some of Australia's biggest bands, including Midnight Oil.
Oh, these are nice, aren't they?
As an old friend of the boys, he's trained them on how to play this unique instrument. That can also double as a sausage cannon. Their knowledge acquired from sleeping under the night sky is now part of the show.
Tom and I slept outside for 10 years every night. You know, I can close my eyes and I can see the stars in my head. What about anyone, any Scorpio? Anyone? Oh, look out. Have you seen your star sign before?
Getting under the Milky Way galaxy was an eye-opener beyond anything we've ever imagined. No light pollution, no atmospheric pollution. The penny dropped in a lot of ways about how people no longer get to see the night sky.
Why don't we utilise it? I think there's other people here in this world that would really appreciate having some basic knowledge of the night sky.
Like having a conversation with people, we kind of find it's the best job in the world.
We found it was, in many ways, became central to Earth Sanctuary's communication to the public.
Feel the earth again, you know? It's a beautiful experience.
Earth Sanctuary as a centre for education is growing too, with many school groups now coming from interstate and even overseas to learn about sustainability.
I think it's been nice that we can open our doors and help people while we're learning.
It's very nice now that sustainability is a buzzword around Australia and in education. We looked at wind power and solar. You guys are doing an assignment specifically on solar, is it? We've had a school group fly in from Indonesia just to come to Earth Sanctuary and get under the stars.
Have you heard of our famous song, Waltzing Matilda?
Yeah.
This is, as pretty as she is Matilda.
Oh.
Oh yeah, exactly as always.
With so much going on, the last thing you think this family would be looking for is a new challenge. But that is exactly what they're about to take on. Soon, Earth Sanctuary will have the pitter-patter of little feet running through the red earth.
Now that we have our first child on the way, I certainly look at Alice Springs a little bit differently. When I was a kid, it felt a lot safer.
How they'll cope with the added workload, only time will tell. But the changing climate is not waiting for anyone.
We inherit this planet from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. And becoming a dad is all about that. You know, you're hooked in now with this responsibility. You've got a beautiful, fragile child to look after, and you just want to do everything you can now to obviously make sure that their life is sustainable, peaceful and happy as well.